Okay. Okay. So I read Proverbs 11, 1 through I think it's 31 verses. So it was this one particular um, verse that I was, I was asking God to help me with, and it was Proverbs 11 and 15. So as I was, I had got off of here, and I went and I looked at some other scriptures. Hold on just a minute. So I'm gonna read the scripture. I'll read the scripture. It's Proverbs 11 and 15, where it says, "He who puts up security for a stranger will suffer from it, but he who hates putting up security is safe." So I was like, kind of puzzled about it. But I went to the reference scriptures, and the one that stood out to me that, kind of helped me to understand what it was talking about is Proverbs 22, 26, 27. And it says, "Do not be one of those who strike hands in pledge, or who put up security for debts. If you have nothing with which to pay, why should he take away your bed from under you?" So when reading that, what I got from it is, if you do not have um, anything to pay, you know, uh, the security, you end up you know, losing the security. You ain't got nothing to put up, or to be able to pledge anything. Um, and they'll take what you got, knowing that you don't have. So why would you say, okay, I'm a put this up for security, and within your heart you ain't got no way really to even get that back. So that's what I got from it. Cause I was a little puzzled at first, like, okay, I don't understand. So that's the reason why I said, let me go and ask God to help me with this, cause um, but I get it now, and I'm gonna read it again. Um, it's 11 and 15, where it said, "He who puts up security for a stranger will suffer for it, but he who hates putting up security is safe." And the scripture that helped me to understand and get a better understanding of what that scripture was saying is Proverbs 22, 26. Proverbs 22, verse 26 and 27. And those scriptures are read like this. It says, "Do not be one who wait a minute, do not be one of those who strike hands in pledge, or who put up security for debts." If you have nothing with which to pay, why should you take away your bed from under you? So that's the part that really helped me. If you don't have nothing to pay, the debt or to pay to get your security, what you putting up for security. Why should you do that when you know that you don't have? And the part where it says, but he who hates putting up security is safe. That means you're not gonna lose what you get. You're not gonna lose what you got because you using wisdom to not to go and say, oh, I'm gonna put this up for security, you know, and you know that you don't have it. You don't have nothing to to pay to get it back or whatever. So that's what I come on here to talk about. Because at first this is a scripture that I really didn't, the way it was worded, I really didn't understand what it was saying. But then I went and I said, let me, you know, I asked God to help me to understand what it's saying. And I went to these scriptures. It's a couple more scriptures. Proverbs 17 and 18. This one, it says, a man lacking understanding strikes hands in pledge and puts up security in the presence of his friends. And the other one is Proverbs 6, 1 through 5. It says, warnings against foolishness and laziness. My son, if you act as security for your friend, if you have struck your hand in pledge with that of a stranger, you are ensnared by the words of your mouth. You are captured by the words of your mouth. Do this now, my son, and rescue yourself. When you have come into your friends, wait a minute, hold on. When you have come into your friend's hands, go humble yourself and plead with your friend. And right there, what I get from that is like, if like you done uh, got in a place where you uh, done, you know, said that you're gonna do something, and you find out that you can't, go to that individual and humble yourself and go to that individual and talk to them and let them know pretty much where you at with it. Um, it said, "Do not give sleep to your eyes, or slumber to your eyelids. Rescue yourself like a roe from the hand of the hunter, and like a bird from the hand of the fowler." Uh, and this little passage right here is kind of like give reference to what 6 1 through 5 is saying. It said this refers to taking the responsibility of paying someone else's debt. If he should fail to do so, or any other obligation of a similar nature. The wise man says this is a foolish thing to do and could result in complete poverty and bondage. Striking hands was a sign of agreement. So that's like paying someone else's debt. Yeah. And that goes back to where it was saying about foolishness and laziness. Proverbs 20 and 16. It says, take the garment of the one who puts up security for a stranger, put up security for someone else, and take a pledge from him for a strange woman. That's Proverbs 20 and 16. Okay, it says note at 6. Yeah, I done read that. But yeah, I just come back on here because I got the understanding of what they were saying. It's just word reading it. It just I just couldn't grab a hold to what it was saying, but I understand. I understand now. All right, y'all. That was the reason why I came on here, and thank y'all again for joining the live. All right. I, I ain't gonna say this is the last live for tonight, but however, I'm gonna say I'm fixing to get off of here. All right.